Are you thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, but you're not exactly sure if that is for you? Or you have tried a few times, but you have failed? Or maybe you are currently on your journey, but you're not exactly sure you're taking the right path and if you're doing the right things. Follow along on this podcast where I will be sharing my entrepreneurial journey with you all. I will be sharing my successes, my failures, and also my challenges. The best part is I will also be interviewing fellow entrepreneurs that will be sharing their stories and their successes. This is my podcast, Entrepreneurial Journey, and I am Joy Nicholson. Hi, everybody. Today I have Don here, and Don is going to talk to us a little bit about his entrepreneurial journey and what he's been up to. Hi, Don. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you very much for asking. So, Don, where are you from? I know you live in the US. Can you tell us a little bit about where you live?
I live in Topeka, Kansas, the capital of Kansas, right smack in the middle of the United States.
That's awesome. And what is the favorite thing that you like to do? Not put the entrepreneurial journey aside. What do you like to do as the fun thing?
Oh, good grief. That's hard. We do a lot of camping, going out to the lake. Yeah. Getting out on the lake, doing some fishing, playing with fire.
That's fabulous. I'm originally from South Africa, and that's like a big thing that we do there as well. It's just like in our blood, I guess. So I can relate. That's pretty awesome. Nice. So what made you start off on your entrepreneurial journey? Was that something did you come from a family of entrepreneurs, or was it something that just bit you along the way?
Yeah, pretty much. It's something that I fell into essentially out of desperation. 8 years ago, I was having trouble keeping jobs. Being stuck in an office has never been my kind of thing. And I drove a truck over the road for a while. Wife got a little, we had done that for long enough. It was time to come home. And so I was just looking, and I ended up getting a job in sales where it was a commission only. It's the first time I'd ever been in a job where commission only, no hourly, none at all. And I loved it. Just totally fell in love with what I was doing. I was knocking on doors, going into people's homes, doing these 2-hour presentations and closing them on this $8,000 in-home water treatment machine. Nice. And yeah, from there, it was in my blood. I decided then that I didn't ever want to work an hourly job again. And I just keep looking for bigger and better things to move on to and keep growing.
That is awesome. Now tell me a little bit about that. When you say that, did you ever think before that is something that you would do, sales, as in, go knocking on people's doors? Did you think before you started that journey, did you think that was something that you would actually ever do in your life?
No. Especially here, I don't know about everywhere in the world, but I know in the US, the door-to-door salesman has a very negative connotation.
Yes.
People hear that you're in sales, and the first thing out of their mouth is, why don't you get a real job? It's not something that people see as a normal, everyday thing. But then when they start to see the checks come in, they insert foot in mouth. They've got to shut it up. But no, it's nothing I ever thought I would do. I knew I was good with people. I knew I was good at talking. I looked into getting into some public speaking, or maybe, selling cars or something. I never thought I'd be doing, demonstrations in people's homes that way. And just the connection that I had, I enjoyed.
That's awesome. And what did you do before that? What was your big thing that you did before that?
I was driving a truck over the road.
And before that?
Before that, I was all over the place. I wasn't a very good young man. I had trouble keeping jobs. I was cocky. I was young. I was just, didn't do well up until I started driving. And I think the only reason I did so well driving the truck is because, once I was 400 miles away from home, I couldn't just quit and go home if somebody made me mad. So it kind of forced me to have to learn that discipline and that responsibility to get up and keep driving the next morning. So it had its lessons to teach as well.
That's actually quite cool. I like that story. That's really cool. So at the moment, I know your profile is about a high ticket closer.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you are following Dan Lok. I do too. I think he's amazing. I've learned a lot from him. He's an absolutely amazing guy to learn from. So what is your mission at the moment? What are you doing? Are you doing like, the in-house and demonstration still? Are you doing your own thing? What exactly are you doing at the moment?
Right. I am currently closing for 2 digital marketing agencies.
Okay.
I work from home full time now on the phone. That's what I do. I have quite a few things in the works, and essentially I'm building my new brand that I'll be coming out with here within the next couple of months, and totally redoing everything is going to be business consulting.
Okay.
Now, getting into the closing field and already having an idea of sales, I've also now had to learn funnels and proper warming up of traffic and building proper relationships. And I've seen everything from the back end of internet marketing now. And every time I get involved with somebody new, it's here, look at this script, see if it's good enough. Read this email, let's see what we can tweak with about it. And where do you draw that line of providing value and you need to pay me for this? I'm putting that much time in.
Yeah.
So instead of strictly being a closer, I am going to just completely rebrand it as a business consultant from start to finish. Copywriting all the way down to funnel building and email drips, all of it.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And what product, I'm assuming you're using, are you using ClickFunnels for all of this?
I will, yeah. At this point in time, I'm not advertising anything. Everything that I've got going on is strictly organic. All of the people that I've got 2 different coaches right now that are quote unquote coaches of coaches, I guess. You could call them business consultants maybe, but I've got one person that helps coaches learn how to draw in organic traffic. And then I've got one that helps them take their one-on-one program and build it into a video program so that they can reach more people.
Wow.
And not have to limit themselves on what their income can be. And both of those are slowly building into where I'll be closing for in the long run. We're putting things together. They are using ClickFunnels. I don't personally have to advertise anything. So yeah, eventually I will.
That's awesome. That sounds like a really great business module to start out, and I can see a lot of success coming from that. That's for sure. That sounds really, really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. So now a bit of a different question to you. On your journey now as a in-house salesperson, knocking on doors and selling awesome machines, what was your struggles that you faced, when you were starting out on that journey? What was because sometimes as people we have like inner struggles that people don't actually know that we're going through. What was those struggles?
It was mainly the time. There was so much time spent, getting up and being at the office at 8 a.m., going through a 2-3 hour sales meeting, going out and knocking on doors for 3 to 4 hours, to come home, grab a quick dinner and a shower, to get in the car and head back out and do 3 2-hour appointments. I mean, we were putting in 13, 14, 15-hour days,
Wow.
5 days a week, and then working some on Saturdays as well. So, well, the money was there and the job was fun for the most part. There wasn't ways to have that time at home. Somebody had a barbecue going on Saturday. I probably couldn't make it. I'd have an appointment to go to. Birthday parties after, Friday evenings. I'm out doing appointments. So I had to miss a lot of that kind of stuff. That was probably the worst of it, was the time constraint. It was almost impossible to plan anything ahead of time because I didn't know whether I had appointments or not.
Yeah.
And so, if you want to keep the income coming, you got to keep going to the appointments. It's not something I can just, I'm going to take a couple of days off and, then you lose that pay. When you're working commission only, there's no sick time or vacation time. You work or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to keep going. Did you find it, did you feel like you wanted to, and I'm asking you these questions because, obviously I want to inspire a lot of entrepreneurs that will face these similar, struggles. So that's kind of, that's where my questioning is going around. And while you was feeling this, were you feeling like you were going to give up a lot of the times, just to say like, this is not really for me? There
was, yeah. There were definitely times when, I'm pretty sure everybody goes through it, especially in sales. When you get into the commission, when you first get started, you are on fire. You are gung ho. It's go, go, go.
Mm.
You get those first couple of sales and you see the kind of money you can make and you're just driving. 6 months later, you starting to run out of fuel. and then it's, it's amazing. You start blaming other people. Oh, it's the leads that are bad. They're not setting up the appointments right. People aren't home at these times. You can make up any reason why you can to not keep going. But knowing in the back of your mind, if you don't, what are you going to do? It's your job.
Yes.
So yeah, there were definitely thoughts of maybe I should find something else. This is those ups and downs.
Yes.
So yeah, we all go through it, I'm sure, but there were definitely a lot of times, especially with knocking on doors, you get out in winter and, the boss man says you still got to go and it's 20 degrees out. Yeah, it's hard to force yourself to keep going.
That's exactly it. I completely get that. I definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
What is the thing that kept you going? Was it the money factor only, or was there something else that was driving you?
Personal growth is what ended up being the drive. So
Yeah.
the office manager that I was working for at the time, he introduced me to Zig Ziglar.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know if you know who he is or not, but he was a very big motivational speaker and sales trainer back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yes.
Still to many this day, the greatest salesman, ever in the US. Through wanting to be the best salesperson I could, that's where I went. I wanted to learn. If he's the best, I want to know it. And I learned through Ziglar that all of life is sales. You've been selling since you were 2-3 years old. And everything that he taught about sales could be applied to all of life. And so I started looking into myself at that point and where do I need to grow? What inside me is holding me back? Not what's the problem with the lead or what's the problem with the time. What in me can do something better with this? And from that point on, everything has blossomed. When you finally stop looking outside for what's wrong and start finding what's going on inside and fixing it, there's no limit to where you can go.
Oh man, that's actually giving me literally goosebumps, because that is so true. It is such an amazing statement.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, that is so cool. What is at the moment, what do you feel like what is the reason why you're successful? What is your reason, number one reason why you feel like you're successful?
I refuse not to be.
That's amazing. I love it.
Work in sales, and more specifically when you're working from home, when
yes,
there's no boss leaning over my shoulder. Mm-hmm. There's nobody telling me if I don't hit those phones at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm fired. It is strictly on me. And if you don't have the mindset to keep that going, yeah, there's a lot of people, that's why they don't make it, because they get comfortable with where they're at. And then, oh, well, I'm my own boss. I can sleep in, or I can take this day off and that day off. And, you nickel and dime yourself into poverty. So
that's true.
Mindset, it's 80%. Yes. Only 20% of it is skill. 80% of it is your mind. And I refuse to allow myself to not achieve those goals that I've set. And when you break your goals down to weekly, monthly, yearly, you've always got your eyes set on what needs to be done today.
Wow, that's very true. That's very true. What do you do to keep developing yourself?
Oh, lots and lots of study.
And
lots
do you do podcasts or videos or books? What's your main things?
Yeah. Books. Love to read. I prefer a hardback book, or not hardback, but I mean a physical book, as to, reading on your phone or a tablet or something. I like to take notes, highlight, circle, underline, all of that kind of thing. Lots of YouTube videos as well. Okay. Like I said, I study under Dan Lok. He's my mentor. So I'm constantly rewatching and relearning some of that stuff. And then Tony Robbins is another big one that I very much enjoy reading and listening to. So yeah, there's always more to learn. And even something that you've seen 3 times, a month later, you go back and see it again, you'll pick up that little bit that you missed the first time. There's so much depth to personal growth that, there's always more to go.
That's so true. That is very true. I'm big on personal growth, and that's why I always tell the people that follow me as well. It's like, just keep growing yourself. That's the best way to go forward.
That is.
Question for you. So how many hours a week on average do you think you spend on personal growth?
Well, that's hard to separate and break out because of how much I do in between things all day. What I've actually got scheduled out is 4 hours a day.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
That's got to do with morning meditations, affirmations throughout the day, an hour's worth of reading, an hour's worth of exercise. This is all personal development stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And I do a little bit of all of that throughout the day as well. You can say affirmations in between calls. I had to leave a voicemail. I didn't actually get on a call. I've got 25 minutes. I'll watch a quick 15-minute video and go through a 10-minute affirmation, recording or something.
Yeah.
Whatever can keep your mind there just makes that next call even better. Yes. Makes whatever it is that you're going to do next better. So yeah, it's a constant all day.
Yeah. That's impressive. 4 hours a day is very impressive. That's I can see that. That's why you're so switched on. What do you hope to achieve with your next business goal? What is your next outset?
How do you want to break that down? Personally, it's to step up to that next level. When you're working from home on your own, you don't have, I'm going to try to get that manager's promotion, or I'm going to try to get, that's not there. It turns out that growth ends up being either you putting together your own something or moving on to that next bigger business or entrepreneur that you're working with and for. So yeah, rebranding myself as not only a closer, but as a total business consultant is going to be the big focus for the rest of 2020. And then to breach that 250,000 a year mark is the financial goal. So between both of those together, yeah, it's going to be an exciting year. There's going to be a lot going on.
You're going to be full on busy. That's for sure. But it's a good busy though. It's a good busy to keep busy like that. And so a bit of a statement, a bit of a question. So obviously, as you know, this podcast is based for people, like I want to motivate people to become an entrepreneur. That's like the biggest thing. So what is the motivation, or what is the piece of advice that you can give somebody that's sitting on the fence and not exactly sure if entrepreneurship is for them? What is that something that you will tell them?
The same thing that I have to tell most people every day. Go. Do it.
Yeah.
We learn this as children. We have no problem with it. You never hear or see a 1-year-old learning how to walk finally decide, maybe walking's not for me, and they just crawl the rest of their life. No. They don't do it. You don't see that child, 5, 6 years old, trying to ride his bike for a couple of days and then decide, I'm not going to do that. I'm done. No. Man, as children, we've got that drive. Other people are doing it. Watch, I'm going to do it. And they keep going. Yeah. Somewhere along the lines, right around that preteen, mid-teen years, life starts to change. And we're starting to be told, no, you can't do that. No, that's not the way life works. No, that's not the way it is. And we start to be programmed to look at the negative. And that's what holds most people back. You are already pre-programmed to see failure. Yes. Instead of success. And when you can switch that in your mind and you can recognize that the only thing that's keeping you from succeeding is taking that first step. I heard it in a book. I read fantasy books as well, Lord of the Rings and, Tolkien, these kind of things. Well, in one of the Lightbringer series, a guy left a puzzle in the middle of it. Said, what is the most important step a man can take? And of course, as a motivational thinker and thought process, I'm thinking the first one. You've got to take that first step in order to get going. Yes. Zig Ziglar said it yourself. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yes.
Well, then throughout the book, he reveals that the most important step any person can take is the next one.
That's awesome.
Taking the first one's one thing. Take the next and keep reaching for it.
Yes.
The only limitation you have are the limitations you put on yourself.
That is so true. Oh my gosh, you said it all. It is so true. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, for you, I would say I will give you your 2 minutes of fame. Where can people find you? Where can they, reach you if they want to reach out to your business? We're going to drop links on the bottom as well, how they can reach you. But just now, tell people a little bit about how you can help them and how you can serve them and.
Okay, well, yeah, DonStrattonJr.com. Very simple. Right now, that is strictly based on my closing skills. It's not been rebranded yet, but if you have a high ticket program, $2,500 or more, that you need your conversions increased, I'm more than happy to sit down and talk with you. If I'm not able to help, I've got a team of about 4,000 people I can reach out to and find somebody who can. The HTC family is a very large group. We've got people all over the place, whatever genre, whatever thing. I'm on Facebook as well, LinkedIn, Instagram. On Instagram, just put a period between my names. It's Don Stratton Jr. for Junior. So yeah, you can reach out and talk to me on any of those areas. Facebook is the easiest way to get a hold of me. It's the fastest for me to respond.
Yes. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And you've been such an inspiration. I've had quite a few interviews and they're all absolutely amazing. But I really feel like you've put a twist on things for me, on certain things. I did resonate with you on a lot of the points. So thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for giving me your time. I know you're very strapped for time, so I do appreciate that. And
thank you very much for having me. I appreciate
it. Yes. And I hope you have a very successful year ahead, and I will speak to you before then anyway. But I'm very sure that your things that you're doing, and it's going to be successful. It sounds amazing, and I'm looking forward to see that.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for having me. I appreciate it, and I love what you're doing. Just getting out, learning from everybody. You've got Bruce Lee, of course. Dan Lok loves the martial arts.
Yes.
Aspects, but Bruce Lee said there's no one best martial art. The best one is to take a little bit of all of them and make them your own. And essentially that's what you're doing here by bringing all of us on, interviewing, picking up all the little information from all of these different sources that you can then help other people put together to make their own. So that's amazing.
That's exactly what I'm doing. You've nailed it. I think you're the first person that gets this. That's awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much again.
Have a good one. Okay.
You too.
Bye.